What's happening with the Poetic Mindshift TV? Make sure you like, subscribe, and comment. Hit that notification bell. Man, I'm just out here working out, man. You know, just getting that daily jog, that daily run. You feel me? You know, feeling good, man. I feel real good, man. I went through a whole situation, man, in my job yesterday, man, and it really put me in a negative mood. You know, just really, thinking about and worrying about things. And when I get that good run in, I get that good jog or that good walk in, I start feeling better. So I recommend anybody, man, look, if you're going through anything, man, go work out, do some push-ups, go jog, go even do a 10-minute walk. And, it'll help you from having to worry so much or overthink so much. But today on this video, I want to talk about paranoia. See, the paranoia comes from your nervous system. The paranoia comes from your nervous system. And what I mean by your nervous system, man, is it's basically your body. Your body has been through a whole lot of trauma. It's been through a whole lot of pain. It's been through a whole lot of grief. You done dealt with a lot in your lifetime. Maybe even not even your lifetime. You might have been through, a small struggle. It could be bullying, just whatever it was. It put your body into a fight and flight situation. Have you ever gotten to the point, man, that you wanted to say something, but you didn't say nothing? Have you ever got to the point that you had to take care of responsibility or something and you ignored it? That's fight or flight. So your body, has these these nerves, man, that will cause you to be anxious. It will cause you to be, to have anxiety. It'll cause you to, just feel uncomfortable, basically. But what I'm, trying to let you know, that paranoia, 9 out of 10, is coming from your nervous system. It's coming from there. It's coming. The reason why you walk in certain places, or you might go to the club, or you might, go to, certain places and you just feel paranoid. You just don't feel comfortable where you at. It's like taking somebody, somebody that was raised in poverty, and then you take them somewhere where it's all clean and neat and things ain't all, it ain't all messed up and stuff. You know what I'm saying? And they might feel uncomfortable about that. It's like taking somebody out of prison and then putting them in the real world. I mean, they nervous system is going to be on fire because they were so comfortable with being in prison. They were so comfortable with being in poverty. So when they get it somewhere nice and clean, or just something that's just a little small, just kind of decent, they're anxious, they depressed, they go through, the PTSD, all that, man. It affects the nervous system, and it's all in your body. It's not in your mind. It's just basically, your body sending messages to your mind, so you might have, you might find yourself being paranoid, and what that means is you're not actually paranoid. You're actually like, you don't feel safe. So you have to do things to make yourself feel safe, which is like chewing gum, which is like hugs, which like deep breathing, exercise, what else? Getting good sleep, stuff like that, man. You have to, and, cause, and that's the reason why you can feel so paranoid, is because you don't feel safe. You don't feel safe in your own body, And that's what it is, man. Trust me, I used to go, we used that paranoia thing for so long. And even when I smoke weed, I used to get so paranoid. But a lot of times, man, that weed, it wasn't the weed that was giving me paranoia. It was my nervous system. I've been through a lot of trauma. I've been through a lot of bullying. I've been through neglected emotionally. I've been in car accidents. My nervous system is messed up. So when I get to smoking the weed, we like to use that terminology as, man, I'm paranoid, man. The weed got me paranoid. The weed got me, man. Nah, it's not the weed. Most of the time, it's not the weed. It's your nervous system, man. Not even, women, whoever, it's your nervous system. That's what's going off in you, So, you have to find things to help you feel safe. And you might have been dealing with this ever since you was a child. So, cause I know when my mama was pregnant with me, let me get up on some of the light. I know when my mama was pregnant with me, she was stressed out a lot. And you know, those stress chemicals that she was, producing while she was pregnant with me I was feeding off those stress chemicals. You know, so basically I was passed on stress that didn't even belong to me as an infant. You understand me? So, and that's a message to girls that are pregnant and you watching my video, man, don't try your best not to be so stressed, because if you stress, you're going to pass those chemicals on to your baby. So please don't be stressed. That's why when I tried my best not to put my baby mamas, in a stressful situation, but I've made my mistakes. I made my mistakes, and thank God my children are not, that bad off. They got little things about them, they got to work with, but if overall they good kids, they good, healthy kids, so that's what I'm blessed about this. But, please just watch. You have to watch your stress hormones, man. You have to. And a lot of us, lonely, you could be so stressed, man. Your nervous system will go off, man. You could be lonely, you could be lonely and be seeking sex. You be seeking sex. It's not because, you horny or whatever. It's just you might be lonely and you might need some type of connection. Your nervous system your body is asking for that. It's probably not even asking for sex, but it will come off as your body wanting sex. It's a tricky thing. It's a definite way, especially how the body sends messages to the mind. It's a very tricky thing. But back to the paranoia thing, man, you have to feel safe. You have to find ways to make yourself feel safe. It could be a phone call from somebody familiar. It could be a good relationship with somebody, a therapist or anybody. It can be, even if you ain't got, say you lonely, you ain't got no friends or whatever, you can look at, stuff on Instagram, YouTube, and like funny videos and stuff like that. That will help you feel more safer. Sometimes if you in a situation and you paranoid, you might feel like everybody's against you. Man, go somewhere in the corner, go somewhere in your car and just breathe and close your eyes and just think for a little minute. Calm your brain down, because your body is sending you message to your brain that something is wrong. And in reality, nothing is wrong. But see, you have to face the truth though. And that's the problem a lot of people have, especially me. I will avoid the truth. You know what I'm saying? And it takes discomfort. It takes you to be feeling like you paranoid, really not paranoid, but it takes you, discomfort to feel safe. It takes you to be honest to feel safe. You have to be honest with, if somebody making you feel unsafe, you need to let them know that. You need to let them, look, I don't feel safe in this situation. I don't feel safe. And you have to let them know, male or female. I don't care who you are. Let them know that you do not feel safe with what's going on with you, especially your circumstances. If you don't feel safe in your circumstances, you have to change that. I know a lot of us, man, we look for other people to change stuff for, man, but we have to change that stuff for ourselves, man, even if it feels uncomfortable. And that even goes with fun. If you're a type of person that haven't been fun in a while, that could be a reason why you feel so unsafe. You need to go out and have some fun. You need to go out and do something, right? But I just want to send that message right quick. I didn't want to be on here too long, man. But like I said, I've been through a lot, and I'm just figuring this out, man. So I'm just sending this message out to anybody who just, you just feel like you paranoid, but you really, you just really feel unsafe, and you got to find ways to make yourself feel safe. I don't care. Go research, go Google anything to make your nervous system, it's something called hypervigilance. When I might not even be saying it right. Lord, help me if I'm not. But hypervigilance, that could be a problem. You might just be anxious, you just feeling anxious, and all you really want is some love. A lot of us are like that, man. A lot of us didn't get loved properly. Even when we had traumatic situations, we did not get loved properly. And that's the reason why a lot of us are in survival mode. If you really want to just boil it down to the nitty gritty, you just really didn't get a lot of love. You didn't get a lot of attention. Didn't nobody come to you and say, oh, it's going to be okay. You're going to be all right. You didn't get a lot of that. So your body, and you had to go through a lot of things. You know, you had to go through a lot of things to survive, and you had to survive on your own. So yes, your body is going to feel a certain way. It's going to feel a certain type of way. You're going to feel paranoid. You know, you're going to feel unsafe. You're going to feel like everybody's against you. You're going to feel like you don't want to trust anybody. You've been through so much situation with people that were so disloyal to you. Instead of testing their loyalty, you know, you went through too many disloyal situations. People backstabbing you, people hurting you. And all you wanted to do was be loved. You wanted to be accepted. That's all you wanted. You wanted to be loved. You wanted to be accepted. I don't care what you've been through. Everybody wants to be loved and accepted. So, man, make sure you like, subscribe, and hit that comment. You know, and stay blessed. Love.